There is one food in your kitchen right now that is quietly destroying your liver, not alcohol. And here's the part that stuns most people over 50, it isn't fat either. In fact, eating fat is not what gives you a fatty liver. Sugar does. You've probably eaten this exact food already today, feeling perfectly fine, while the damage builds in silence. And that silence is the whole problem. By the end of this video, you'll know the single worst food for your liver, why it does more harm than whiskey, and which of these 4 stages your liver is sitting in right now. Watch closely, because after the age of 50, one of these 4 stages becomes nearly impossible to walk back from. First, you need to understand why your liver never warns you. Your liver is the only organ in your body that can fully regenerate itself. It filters your entire blood supply every 4 minutes. It breaks down toxins. It stores energy. It controls your hormones. It even manages your cholesterol. Hundreds of jobs every second. No complaints. And deep in its tissue, it has almost no pain nerves. That's the trap. Your liver can be under attack for 10, even 20 years, and you feel nothing. No pain. No warning. By the time it finally speaks, the damage is often already carved in. So what is the food? Sugar. But not the way you picture it. The real villain is one specific sugar called fructose. And to see why fructose is so dangerous, you have to know how it's different from glucose. When you eat glucose, the everyday sugar in bread and rice, nearly every cell in your body burns it for fuel. It spreads everywhere. Fructose is not like that. Fructose can be processed in exactly one place, your liver. Every gram lands there, and your liver handles all of it alone. Here's what stops people cold. Drink 1 glass of soda or 1 glass of orange juice, and you flood your liver with fructose in minutes. Your liver has no choice. It processes every drop, and when more fructose arrives than it can burn, it does something strange. It takes that sugar and builds brand new fat from scratch inside its own cells. Scientists call this de novo lipogenesis, new fat made from sugar, and that is the moment stage 1 begins. Stage 1 is a healthy liver, smooth, deep red, strong. It shrugs off almost everything. But every soda, every juice, every candy bar, every bowl of sweetened cereal leaves another droplet of fat behind. You feel great. Your energy holds. Your blood tests read normal. That's the cruel part. The start of liver disease is invisible, even to your doctor. You still feel fine here, but this next stage already lives inside 1 in 4 adults on Earth, and after 50, that number climbs higher. As the fat piles up, your liver turns pale, then yellow, and swells. Doctors call it non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Read that again, non-alcoholic. Most of these people never had a drinking problem in their lives. They just ate the ordinary modern diet, packed with hidden sugar, year after year. This is stage 2, and here's the good news, and it's real. At this stage, pull the sugar out, and your liver heals completely. This is your last easy exit. But here's something you won't hear from most people. The fat doesn't only build inside the liver, it wraps around it and around your other organs as what doctors call visceral fat, the deep belly fat that pushes your waistline out even when your arms and legs stay thin. That's the tell. If your belt keeps getting tighter while the rest of you doesn't, your liver may already be at stage 2. And once that visceral fat and liver fat team up, they flip a switch called metabolic syndrome, the cluster of high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high triglycerides that quietly sets the stage for a heart attack. Your liver, your waistline, and your heart are all telling the same story. Almost nobody connects the 3. Quick thing before we keep going. If this is already making you side-eye your fridge, tap subscribe because this next stage is the one most people cross without feeling a thing. When that fat sits too long, it triggers something that changes everything. The overloaded cells become stressed, injured, inflamed, and inflammation leaves scars. This is stage 3. Doctors call it steatohepatitis. Until this exact point, everything reversed cleanly. Not anymore. Once scarring starts, your liver swaps healthy, working tissue for stiff, dead scar tissue that never grows back. And here's why age matters. After 50, your liver regenerates slower. The younger you would have bounced back easily. The older liver has a far smaller window. This is the point of no return. Now, here's the part almost nobody tells you. Your liver rarely fails through liver pain. It fails through other things first. Rising blood pressure, stubborn belly fat that won't move no matter how little you eat, gout flaring in your big toe, blood sugar creeping up toward type 2 diabetes. These are your liver screaming, and everyone mishears it. They blame age, they blame stress, they blame a bad night's sleep. They never blame the plate.
If nothing changes, you hit the stage every doctor dreads. The scarring spreads until the liver shrinks, hardens, and turns dark and lumpy. This is stage 4, cirrhosis. The damage is now permanent. There isn't enough healthy tissue left to rebuild. Toxins the liver once filtered start pooling in your blood. And here's the bitter irony. Doctors today diagnose cirrhosis in people who never drank a drop of alcohol. Everyday sugar did what they swore only decades of drinking could do. So why does this one food wreck your liver when others don't? 3 things, all at once. First, as you know, fructose is handled by the liver alone. The whole load crashes onto one organ. Second, fructose barely tells your brain you're full, so you keep drinking, feeding your liver hundreds of calories your body never counts as food. And third, when your liver breaks fructose down, it spits out uric acid and oxidative stress. The uric acid drives up your blood pressure and triggers gout. The fat drives insulin resistance, the doorway to type 2 diabetes. One food, one organ, a chain reaction through your whole body. That's the perfect storm, and it's engineered into nearly every processed product on the shelf. But here's what everyone gets wrong about the word sugar. People hear it and picture the white bowl on the table. That's not the danger. The danger is the sugar you never taste and never count. It hides in fruit juice you thought was healthy, in flavored yogurt, in pasta sauce, in salad dressing, in ketchup, in breakfast cereal, even in the so-called health bars sold to you as clean. And the worst form of all is liquid sugar, especially high-fructose corn syrup. A sweet drink is the fastest liver damage delivery system ever built. No fiber to slow it, no chewing to signal enough. It hits your liver harder and faster than sugar in any solid food on Earth. And there's hard science behind this. Back in 2018, research in the Journal of Hepatology tied fructose directly to fatty liver, separate from calories entirely. Read that carefully. It wasn't only about eating too much. The fructose itself, on its own, was toxic to liver tissue. That's what almost everyone misses. They count calories, while the real damage comes from the type of sugar, not just the amount. And think about what that means for the advice you've heard your whole life. Cut the fat, eat low fat. For 40 years, that was the message. And for 40 years, fatty liver disease kept climbing right alongside the sugar we swapped in to replace the fat. We fixed the wrong thing. The fat on your plate was never the problem. The sugar that quietly took its place was. So if your liver is in stage 1 or stage 2 right now, here's the one thing that flips the whole story. Remember the fact from the very beginning. Your liver can regenerate. Remove the source in time and it rebuilds, often within months, even later in life. Here's exactly where to start. Cut liquid sugar first before anything else. Soda, sweet tea, sweetened coffee, energy drinks, and yes, fruit juice. That single move lifts an enormous weight off your liver almost overnight. Next, read the label on everything and hunt the names sugar hides behind. High-fructose corn syrup, dextrose, cane juice, and anything ending in the letters OSE. Then lean on whole foods, because a whole piece of fruit, unlike juice, comes wrapped in fiber that slows the fructose down and shields your liver. So no, a whole orange is nothing like a glass of orange juice. And here's a surprising one that actually helps: plain black coffee. Study after study shows 2 to 3 cups a day lowers the risk of liver scarring, one of the few everyday drinks that protects the organ instead of taxing it. Add real movement too. Even a daily walk burns the fat trapped inside your liver and pushes back insulin resistance.
And go easy on the refined carbs, the white bread and white rice, because your body turns those into liver fat faster than you'd think. Small, boring, daily changes. That's what rebuilds a liver. Not a juice cleanse, not a detox tea, not an expensive supplement. Just taking the sugar off the plate. Cut the liquid sugar and your liver heals itself in months. Look one more time at those 4 livers. The difference between the first and the last isn't bad genes. It isn't bad luck. In almost every case, it comes down to one thing. What sat on the plate, quietly, every single day for years. Now, we just watched one everyday food quietly turn your liver into fat, but there's another food doing something even stranger to your blood, and it changes completely depending on your blood type. So watch this next video where I reveal the single worst food for your blood and why the very same meal that's harmless for one person is silently harming another.